what holds you back? In this episode of the ICW, Ian and I are discussing just that. How do we get ahead? What kind of decisions do we need to make? And what is going to make an impact in our professional and personal lives? If this could relate to you, check this edition out of the International Champions Workshop. Let's go.
Hey, I wanted to kind of make the shift. Well, I wanted to make the shift more to building up my organization and making that I have more productive to actually producing myself. And it's harder than I thought it would be, this change. It's not as simple. So although I'm making more in revenue share than I ever have before, it's I don't know. I don't know if it's trying to get out of daily habits and stuff of like prospecting for sellers and whatever else, and then just focusing on agents. I don't know what it is, but it's not as easy as I was expecting it to be. I feel like I'm starting from zero.
Do you think fear plays into any factor?
Probably, yeah, because I was thinking about this.
What if it doesn't work, right?
Yeah, the one thing, what if it doesn't work? The other thing, am I just running off of the high of like the last couple of months I've had of rev share, which have been really good? What if that doesn't last? But then it's the same with my sales. Like I'm not a top producing agent, so it's the exact same thing. And I think for me, I really need to focus on one to make it work a lot more. I think that's just how I work. But that said, I actually don't have any prospective agents in the pipeline at the moment directly. I do for my tier 2 agents, if that makes sense. So there's stuff going on. It's just not mine directly, and I'm not. I feel like I'm not doing 100% of that work because it's my agents that are, which is like the whole point of the whole rev share thing. I get that, but
right.
I just feel like I'm not as productive as I should be, as I was hoping to be, making this switch. And then it's funny because I make the decision to do more rev share stuff, and then I keep getting referrals for production. I'm like, thank you, but damn it, like you could have been here like 6 months ago. I just got a call today of a guy that wants to sell some stuff.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so
it's a great problem to have, and I understand. I understand your dilemma. I get it personally.
Right.
Yeah, other people that would be watching this are like, yeah, what?
Yeah.
You got a referral? You're complaining?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So it's different. It's difficult to focus on so many different things happening all at once and then keeping up to your day to day. And then I feel like we have these roller coasters because things take us out of the prospecting, which is like our daily bread, right? That's the things that are going to bring us the money at the end of the day. So when we don't do that, it's like, damn it, I didn't feel like there was enough productive work done. But I think that every now and then we got to do these we got to have these days to focus on the other stuff, get that all polished off, finished off, and then, to make it smoother for us later down the line. So
let me ask you this. I'm the same way. And I asked you about fear because I feel it. It is that unknown. Like I get choked up, just like it's putting your back against a wall to say, all right, like for me, I'm selling, 20, 30 homes a year. And I know that incomes can come in. I mean, technically, I don't know if it's going to come in because like I have one closing in May. So
right.
Is that enough? No, that's not enough. But I do know like my magic number, like you had a great rev share month. I did too. It's not enough to pay my bills, like all my bills, and have us live. And so that's where I was able to work work my money a little bit differently, my budget, if you will, and say, all right, if I could sell 2 homes a year, or sorry, 2 homes a month, and I was really putting it of how I could pay my assistant, how I could
Yeah,
budget for taxes, all this stuff, all this breakdown. But in order for me to leave production outright, I have to nearly double, maybe triple my current revenue share business. And
right.
that's scary because over seven years, I'm not on that I'm not on that level. I've in
Okay.
7 years I've gotten 55 agents, which is amazing,
Right.
but I need to get to 150 in order to do that now. And that's my scary part. So what I was going to ask you, I totally went off on a tangent. What I was going to ask you, what's your number for living to say, hey, all right, I could totally omit production. Even if you're getting referrals, you could refer that referral out,
Yeah.
and still make some money on it. It may be a little less, but at least it's a couple dollars. But what would you need to make per month in order to, yeah, just say, hey, I'm done with production and I'm focusing on helping agents grow?
So I've always been a big fan of um the law of attraction and manifestation and stuff like that. And I say often because I go through like these streaks of where I'll do like these daily habits for a month or 2 months straight every single day without fault. And then all of a sudden I'll take like a month off.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of my faults. But one of those things is visualization. And since I ever became self-employed, since the first day in 2019 when I first decided to, it's like I didn't even decide to do it. I kind of came into it by accident. I don't know, it's a long story, but that moment where I no longer had a boss and it was all me and the food on the table depends on my efforts in business. I always, always, always visualized um 30 grand a month. That was like my dream thing back then. This was back when maybe I was making like 800 to 1,000 a month. So that's like not even, it wasn't, I couldn't see how it was going to happen, but 30,000 every single month was just for some reason, and I don't know where it came from. It was like a message through the universal waves of cosmic materialization or something. Told me for some reason that 30,000 a month was the goal that I had to get to. I would visualize myself opening the my bank account on my phone and seeing, like the plus 30,000 monthly thing overall. And I could see it and I could feel my hands on the phone as I was opening the app. I could see myself holding it up like an idiot because it does like the face recognition thing. Um, all of it. That's really, I really, really lived these visualization moments. And 30,000 was always my number. Now, it's not the number that I need to live. Obviously, it's not that expensive here in Spain to live. Um, I mean, we could probably get by with like, I don't know, like 2,000 a month. We could probably get by and be
Yeah.
okay. I don't have debts. I'm okay on that. I mean, like I have a car payment and stuff, but that's pretty much it. Um, so initially my thing was 30,000 with whatever I'm doing, whether that's offering marketing services plus real estate plus rev share, all of them combined to make 30,000. But now my focus has changed, which is something that happens
Right.
as time goes on. Our goals change, things
Sure.
evolve. And for me, I want 30,000 a month in rev share. That's
Yeah.
changed. So, like you said,
Yeah.
I might get referrals. I might do some production every now and then. I might do some marketing stuff on the side, which will help. But my ultimate goal at the moment is 30,000. And the reason being is because I want to retire my parents before they actually retire. So I got like 7 years left against the clock to do that. And I know that with 30,000 I can do that and live way above my means. And from there on it would just grow and grow and grow. And thinking about what you said as well. So after 7 years, you're at what, like 55 agents or whatever. You need to get to 150. The cool thing about all of this is the cool thing, but it's not easy. Is with one more agent like me or one more agent like you, that could happen. Like
Yeah.
in the next month, it could just
It's
exponentially explode.
yeah, it's definitely scalable and it is possible, but it's yeah, again, yes, finding that right person to run with. And
Right.
I say this, I think every week, it's finding the right who to put around you,
Yeah.
right? Who do you want to be around? Who's going to lift you up to rise you to that? And that is essential.
And the thing is, it's the same with your production. It's you
Hmm.
never ever know where that next phone call is going to take you, or that next meeting, or that next coffee meet that you have, or lunch, or whoever it is. That next FISBO that you call could have really great connections with investors, and they bring you like 50% of your income for the next year. You just don't know.
Right, right.
The same thing could happen with agent attraction, or I don't know. If you're watching this and you're looking for a girlfriend or a boyfriend, that next one could, you just don't know. It could
Yeah.
that I think that's what's really motivating for a lot of people if they actually sit down and think about it. Like, oh, I don't want to do any calls today. I don't want to. I don't know. If you haven't done any calls today, just make one before you go to sleep tonight. Like that one call could be the next call that changes everything.
Yeah. So I wanted to go back and you mentioned 30,000 is that's euros obviously 30,000 euros a month you would like to make. So in realistic terms, where are you today? We just got paid revenue share the other week. Where was that check in retrospect to where you want to be?
I still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got a long way to go before that happens. But
What's the number? Do you want to share it?
so for the first, this is a record month for me, and I hit just under 3,000
Nice.
euros in a month through RevShare. But what's opened my eyes, and I have 19 agents. I'm nowhere
Yeah.
near 55 or whatever.
Yet.
So yet, of course. Um, which is two things. One, I don't need hundreds to make more than what I need in a
Hmm.
month to live, right? Which was a false kind of belief that I had getting into all of this. Uh, Two, it opened up my eyes to how the exponential side of things works with agents coming under your agents and people just doing a little bit of work on that side of things rather than just production. This is thanks to like two or maybe three agents that aren't directly mine that were just like friends of the agents that I have in my direct line, and they joined and they're awesome and they're doing well, kind of thing. So it opened my eyes. I was like, oh man. And of course, it not only opened up my eyes, but also my agents that have those agents. They're like, they also made a bunch of money, and they're like, oh, with this one person that made a bunch of sales, I made this money, and I don't even focus on rev share. It's not one of those things. They just joined because they know me, blah blah blah. Like, what if I had two more? And I'm like, yeah, what if you had two more?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
what if this other person had two more, and this other person had two more, and then I had three more?
Right.
It would change. So it really has opened my eyes to how exponential it can be. And in all honesty, it's thanks to the new rev share model. It's thanks
Yeah.
to rev share 2.0. So
Yeah.
that's so I got a bit to go yet, but I don't know.
Well,
It's getting a
and
bit
even what you're doing, and I appreciate you sharing some numbers, just because I like numbers, and I look at my own numbers and saying, hey, where am I at? Where do I want to go? And so you're almost just like me, where we need to 10x our business.
yeah, exactly.
Because
Because
if you're getting 30,000 euros and you want 30,000, that's
it's
10x.
10x. Exactly. Stole the words out of my mouth. Yep.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that's it. And so then it's like, all right, how do you transform that business into a 10x model?
Right.
And then it's that fear to kind of go, one to the other and make that transition. And like you said too, hey, I'm not a top producer. But you're still getting referrals, you're still doing production, you're still doing that. Yeah, it look a little differently that you're referring those out to other great agents. Um, that's that's where I look at things, and um, I don't know that answer for myself because like I hustle a lot. I make a lot of calls. I work my database. I've got drips. I've got campaigns. I've got I'm calling expired listings. I'm calling for sale by owners. Plus following up with the database, putting together newsletters, all that stuff to keep people informed to create more business. But like you mentioned in your referral, and I don't know if we were recording just yet, um, you've got people that are reaching out to you.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. I don't. I have to go get it all. I have to go find agents. I have to go find buyers. I have to go find sellers. And kudos to you, because again, it speaks volumes of you, which in turn, it feels like it speaks volumes. Or it doesn't speak volumes of me. I guess I don't know.
I understand.
It's one of those. I'm like, hey, where are my referrals? Like,
Right.
I don't have any. It messes with you,
Right.
you
Right.
know, just as a person. It's that, and me. I'm always happy for your success and that everything you do, and as well as the others around us. But yeah, it gets to that point where you're kind of looking at yourself and like, how do I get referrals? How do I get agents? How do I,
Yeah.
you know, I'm doing 100,000 things. Well, that's part of my problem. I'm doing too much.
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I from the beginning, I was always very, I don't know how to explain this. I was always very like all or nothing, but it's not in the sense where I do like a bunch of the work because there's no going back. It's more of I would focus way more on actions that I know that later will reward me in the future rather than like a quick sale money. I need money now. And that was very, very difficult because, like I said, when I started, I wasn't making much money at all.
Yeah.
And then there was months where I didn't make any money, and we desperately needed to make money. We've been through a lot with the family with when it comes to like financial stress and stuff like that. But even in those moments, I still focused on building relationships with clients, so that later down the line, and then maybe that means like I don't know if anyone watching this has been in a situation where I would meet with a client, but I was now with EXP. We didn't have an office, so I was like, "Hey, let's meet at a cafe," and then I'm sitting with them like I know that I need to tell them that I'm going to get your coffee. Don't worry about it, but it's going to hurt. Like just a coffee. I know that
Right.
was I
Right.
was in the moment like, oh man, my wife's going to kill me. Like this is money that I could put towards like baby food or whatever else we needed, but I would still do it, and it was horrible. And looking back at it, I honestly don't know how we did it. Um, but it's those actions that I believe have now kind of turned into I don't know, it's just
Yeah.
100% focusing on the client satisfaction and that they're super comfortable with you. And I do the same with agents. It's like the agents might not join now or within the next 6 months, but maybe within the next 2 years they will, all because of the long term strategy. Yeah, I suppose it's a strategy.
Yeah.
But it's just how I am, and it's just how I've always done things. And yeah, it's turned into
Well,
business long term.
yep. Well, and I like how you think too, man. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And I mean, it's even like when any of us started real estate, it's like, hey, I don't know any buyers. I don't know any sellers. I don't know what to do. I don't know what conversations to have. I don't know how to host an open house. I don't know how to
Yeah.
talk to an expired versus a FISBO versus a buyer. They're all different. And so
Yeah.
it's just like anything, even any other job that you've started, you're not the expert of that. So you
Yeah.
have to make the motion, stumble forward like we always do.
Yeah.
And then you go. It's different now, and I think you nailed it too because you know the crap you went through
Yeah.
like you said, I shouldn't buy a cup of coffee because I could go buy baby food instead. It's in your head. Yet professionally, you want to make that connection to say, on me, cool. I've got you in every way. As a client,
Right.
I'm with you. At home, yeah, is the baby okay? You know what
Yeah.
happened? Which the answer was yes, and you guys did make it through there, but that stuff sticks in your head.
Oh yeah.
What if we go back to that situation, right? That's where our heads start getting messy. What if we go back to that situation? And what if we face all those same problems? And what if we have arguments as a married couple? And what if the kids start resenting me? And what if?
Yeah.
But, but what if it turns into absolute success? What if you learn from where you came from and turned it so it happens quicker?
Yeah.
And what if you're able to make a life that's so much better?
Well,
That's that's going to be the difference.
and it is because very quickly, and again, I don't know how, very quickly when I first started all of this stuff, the self-employed stuff, like leaving the security of having a fixed monthly
Mhm.
income and all the rest of it. Um, I think one of the big changes was actually me letting go of the what if and just trusting that it's going forward and we're moving upwards. Like
Yeah.
I can, it was really really difficult, but the what ifs I felt like were holding me back. Like I know that there's what ifs forwards and there's what if backwards. So like a what if we go back? What if we
Hmm.
have another shit month? What if we lose the income and lose the job? Or what if, yeah, all the bad stuff. But yeah, no, what if it does double? What if my rev share organization does jump to like 50 agents in the next month? Who knows? That next phone call could change it. We don't know.
Right.
What if,
Yep.
but I completely got rid of the what ifs altogether. And I
Good.
just
Good.
knew it was gonna happen. And it
Well,
was difficult stuff. And it's weird because nobody understands it apart from
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not something that you can talk about with anyone. It's like my parents are like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Right.
you got kids, grow up." I'm like, just
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
just trust the process. And my wife's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, just trust the process. We're getting there. This is just all part of the journey. So I don't know. For me, letting go of the what ifs, I think, was a huge part. And I mean, I don't have confirmation that that's why I'm here today, but I believe that it contributed a big part of it.
Yeah. No, it's so true. You got me thinking. Yeah. I think you get to know yourself though too, and saying, "Hey, I'm going to push through all the tough stuff
Yeah.
and make it." When your back's against the wall, you got nothing to do but fight and go forward.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and sometimes people need that to really just go that extra mile too, and change their lives for the better too. So, um, yeah, it's good, man. I don't really know what other points I want to make, but
Yeah. This has been a great episode. The only thing I would throw in is that everybody's rock bottom is different.
mhm,
So for me, I had to get pretty bad before the change happened, like not being able to afford that cup of coffee or fuel for my car or whatever it is. Um, for someone else, it might not be that bad, or for someone else, it might be worse. So don't think to yourself like, oh, I gotta get extremely poor before I can become extremely rich. No, it's not necessarily the case. Everyone's different, everyone's story is different, and everyone has like is at a different place in their life. But yeah, just to finish off, I would say just completely trust yourself and that you're able to move forward with it all because you already are. We already are where we wanted to be like 2 years ago, and then we'll be laughing about this. And then another 2 years from now, I'll be laughing about this €3,000 a month.
right.
And then the same, it's just going to keep going and keep going and keep going. It's just that we don't see it in the moment as it's happening. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I don't know if you're going through it. Just trust the process, trust yourself. You know you can do it. You've done it before. and stumble through it. That's what we do. That's how we've always done things. So
Yeah. I actually had a thought real fast. When your back's against that wall, your mind changes
oh
and
yeah,
your focus changes because now if that is your sole money source, you're going to say, "Hey, how do I go after somebody else that can help me grow bigger?" Right? In this case. Um, maybe I need, that team leader. Maybe it's a managing broker of some sort. So your mind changes in that essence. And even if you're looking at it from a production standpoint, hey, maybe I need to up my level of dollar amount for that home. If you're used to selling $200,000 homes, well, how do I get to 400,000? How do I get to 800,000? How do I get to a million? So it's that leveraging up. And
yep,
sometimes, I guess, to leverage up, you need to back yourself in that corner and say, hey, here I am. All right, I want to get there. I want to get there pretty darn quick. So, how do we make this happen?
yeah,
I got to change the way I think. It's not the easy way. It's going to be more of a challenge, and you got to step up and rise up. So,
yeah,
hopefully, that
yeah.
made sense.
It did, 100%, 100%. Well, thank you for being here, Jason. Thank you for opening up to us. This was a nice episode. It's not the usual one, but I like these ones a lot better. I think a lot more people would identify with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you if you've been watching this. Show us some love in the comments. Share this. Reach out to us if you need anything. Reach out to us if you want to know um, where to go next. If you're up against a wall, we can probably help you out. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks for tuning in and stumble through it. Let's go.